Welcome to our harvest festival. My father's voice boomed across the festooned barn at Willow Creek Winery, the golden glow of string lights reflecting off wine glasses. Tonight, we celebrate a bold new chapter. We're thrilled to announce that Sophia, fresh from her MBA, will take the helm as CEO. The crowd erupted in applause, but I sat motionless, my glass of Pinot frozen midair. 6 months ago, I'd wired my life savings, $900,000, to save this winery from foreclosure. Now, my younger sister, who'd never touched a vine, stepped forward, dazzling in a tailored dress, basking in a role she hadn't earned. I'm Emily Harper, 36, and I built my financial advisory firm from the ground up, never asking my parents for a dime. While they funded Sophia's MBA, I worked 70-hour weeks, learning what success really costs. So when they called, sobbing about the bank's foreclosure threat, I didn't hesitate. "We're family," they'd said. "We trust each other." But as Sophia soaked up the cheers, I realized they'd used my money to save their legacy, only to hand it to her. With her education and vision, Dad continued, Sophia will steer Willow Creek into a future of innovation and growth. I watched her smile. The same sister who'd spent college years posing for winery selfies instead of learning about grape yields or barrel aging. The same sister who last Thanksgiving mixed up our Merlot with our Syrah. Mom squeezed my arm. "Emily, you understand, don't you? Sophia's degree makes her the right choice for the business side." I forced a smile. "Of course, Mom. She'll be great." Raising my glass, I toasted, "To Willow Creek's new CEO." My voice steady despite the betrayal clawing at my chest. Excusing myself, I slipped outside into the crisp autumn air and pulled out my phone, texting a contact I'd hoped not to need. "Claire Morgan, I need your help with a family business issue. Free to meet tomorrow?" Claire, a sharp corporate attorney I'd met at wine expos, replied instantly, 9 a.m., my office, bring all documents. Claire's Dallas office overlooked the skyline, morning light glinting off glass towers. She scanned my bank records, showing the $900,000 transfer to Willow Creek's account. "Let me get this straight," she said, eyes narrowing. "You sent your entire savings without a contract? Not even a handshake note?" "They're my family," I said, the words sour now. "When they called about the foreclosure, I just wanted to save 3 generations of winemaking. They'd overborrowed for Sophia's MBA and a new event space she insisted on. And now she's CEO, despite your investment saving the winery." Claire leaned back. "Tell me about that call. What did they promise?" I closed my eyes, replaying it. Dad said I'd be taken care of, that my money secured my future in the business. Mom was crying, promising they'd make it right. I opened my eyes, anger flaring. Instead, they act like I just owed it to them. "Any witnesses?" Claire asked. "Yes, their accountant, Tom Ellis. He was there when I visited to finalize the transfer. He pushed for a written agreement, but they brushed him off, saying it would insult our bond." Claire's smile was predatory. "Tom's our key. What's your goal? Control of the winery?" I shook my head. "I want my money back, with interest. Let Sophia have her title. I'll build my own winery, one they'll have to reckon with." "I like it," Claire said, grabbing a notepad. "We'll send a demand letter, $900,000 plus 7% interest, due in 30 days. We'll also request all financial records since your transfer. I bet we'll find some creative accounting." She paused. "If they refuse, we file a lawsuit, exposing their books. Sophia's MBA won't help her then." I left feeling lighter, like I'd reclaimed a piece of myself. The demand letter hit Willow Creek like a frost in June. I was at my apartment, reviewing client portfolios, when Sophia called, voice shrill. "A lawsuit? Are you trying to ruin us? Dad's heart's acting up because of you." "Simple fix," I said calmly. "Return my $900,000 plus interest. You've got an MBA. Run the numbers. That money saved our winery, she snapped. Your heritage too. Now you want to bankrupt us? You're driving a new BMW, Sophia. I'm sure you'll figure it out. She switched tactics, voice syrupy. Your lawyer knows family verbal deals are messy. You can't prove anything. Actually, I said, I just spoke with Tom. He gave a sworn statement about that day, how he urged a contract, how Dad promised me a stake. Remember him? Silence. Then, hold on. Dad wants to talk. Dad's voice was tight. Emily, what are you doing? After all we've done for you? All you've done? I said. You paid for Sophia's education, her car, her apartment. I built my life alone. The one time I asked for something, a place in the winery, you took my money and gave her the keys. We never promised you control, he said. Sophia's trained for this. I'm not asking for control. I want my money. Money you used for Sophia's BMW and that Napa trip you and Mom took last spring. Muffled voices. Then Mom came on. Emily, please, come for dinner. We'll sort this as a family. We're not a family right now, I said. We're in a business dispute. Have your lawyer call Claire. I hung up, hands trembling but heart steady. My phone lit up with texts from cousins and uncles, some angry, some pleading. I ignored them and searched vineyard listings in the next valley. Willow Creek was about to meet its match. A week later, Tom called, voice hushed. Can we meet? Somewhere quiet? We sat at a tucked-away cafe, and he slid a folder across the table. I've been digging into the books since your transfer. It's bad. I opened it to find highlighted records. Your $900,000 didn't just clear the foreclosure, he said. It funded personal expenses logged as business costs, the BMW as a staff vehicle, the Napa trip as market analysis, even part of Sophia's MBA backdated as training. My grip tightened on my coffee. There's more, Tom said. A month before Sophia's CEO announcement, they set up Willow Creek Holdings LLC. They're shifting winery assets to it, leaving the original company, the one you saved, an empty shell. The betrayal cut deeper than I'd imagined. They weren't just sidelining me. They were ensuring I couldn't claim anything. Your lawyer needs this, Tom said. But keep my name out of it. I'm job hunting. I can't stay with this. Fraud. My phone buzzed. A text from Sophia. Family meeting tonight. No lawyers. Last chance to fix this. I showed Tom. He shook his head. They know I'm looking at the books. They'll guilt you or threaten me. I texted back. Talks go through lawyers. Her reply was instant. Your choice, but this gets ugly. It's on you. I called Claire, sending her Tom's documents. This is gold, she said. Not just a civil case, possible criminal charges. Fraud, asset hiding, the works. I don't want them in jail, I said. Just my money. Then we leverage this. I'm amending the demand letter. $900,000 plus interest, 48 hours, or we go to the SEC. I sat in the cafe, staring at Tom's folder. Guilt tugged. Suing family felt like torching a bridge. But the stronger part of me, the part that remembered every dismissed sacrifice, saw the truth. I opened my laptop, pulling up a listing for Cedar Hollow Vineyard, 180 acres of prime land across from Willow Creek. Perfect soil, better drainage. My future. The amended letter landed like a storm. I was on a virtual tour of Cedar Hollow when Dad burst into my apartment waving it. Criminal charges against your own family? I raised you better. Did you raise me to be robbed? I said, closing my laptop. You used my $900,000 for luxury cars and wine tours while scheming to cut me out. We never meant, he started. Save it. I've seen the LLC, the asset transfers. You didn't just betray me. You made sure I couldn't fight back. We can work this out, he pleaded. Maybe you and Sophia co-lead? I laughed. I don't want to lead with her. I want my money. And you've got 40 hours before the SEC gets involved. His eyes narrowed. What's that about competition? My phone pinged. The Cedar Hollow realtor. I answered on speaker. Emily, the seller loves your vision for a boutique winery. When can we meet to finalize? Dad's face crumpled. Cedar Hollow wasn't just land. It was Willow Creek's. Rival in Grandpa's day, outscoring them at tastings. You wouldn't, he whispered. Wouldn't what? Build my own legacy with the money you stole? I learned winemaking from Grandpa while Sophia was taking selfies. Your choice. Pay me, or I'm planting vines. Your grandfather would be ashamed, he said, grasping. No, he'd be proud I'm not letting you and Sophia ruin his dream with your greed. I pointed to the door. I've got a vineyard to buy. Clock's ticking. He left, slamming the door. Sophia's texts flooded in. You're jealous of my success. Mom's crying because of you. I blocked her and focused on Cedar Hollow's. Specs, ideal for a Syra to rival Willow Creek's, Claire called. They're panicking. Their lawyers begging banks for loans. I smiled. Either I'd get my money or I'd get Cedar Hollow, and Willow Creek would learn what competition means. With 12 hours left, Mom showed up at my office, clutching an envelope, her face weary. Your father's in the hospital. Blood pressure. Are you happy? What's this? I asked, nodding at the envelope. She slid it over. $650,000. All we could get. We mortgaged everything, the rest in payments. That's not the deal, I said. $900,000 plus interest, or we file. Tomorrow. We don't have it, she snapped. Sophia's called every bank. No one will lend without auditing us, and you know why. Because of the fraud? The LLC? The fake expenses? Her eyes widened. How? I have everything, Mom. Every transaction, every lie. I turned my laptop, showing Cedar Hollow's listing. Gorgeous, right? Perfect for a winery to crush Willow Creek. The seller's ready unless I get my money. You'd ruin us, she whispered. You ruined yourselves when you stole from me. 10 hours left. Get creative. She left, shaken. I called Claire. They offered partial payment. Hold firm, she said. Their lawyer's desperate. A banker, Ethan Brooks, keeps calling you. Ethan, Sophia's ex from college, now a loan officer. I called him. Your parents' books are a mess, he said. I can't approve a loan without an audit. But there's a winery investment group. They'd fund them, but they'd demand transparency and board seats. I texted Dad. Call Ethan Brooks. 9 hours left. SEC or solution. Your choice. Sophia texted, a bank takeover's worse than family. You're killing Grandpa's dream. Replied with a photo of Cedar Hollow's slopes overlooking Willow Creek. She'd know it from her photo shoots. Her response, a flurry of curses. At Claire's office, 2 hours to deadline, we prepped both paths, SEC filing and Cedar Hollow. Purchase, Tom texted. Emergency meeting at Willow Creek. Sophia's sobbing. Mom's threatening to expose Dad's old debts if he doesn't fix this. Ethan called. They're meeting the investment group now. Full transparency, 2 board seats, 5-year oversight. With 30 minutes left, Claire's phone rang. Their lawyer, frantic. They're signing with the group. My phone buzzed. Dad. The bank wants control for 5 years. If we sign, will you drop the SEC and the competing vineyard? Pay me $900,000 plus interest, I said, and I walk away. Mom says you're bluffing, he said. You're too soft for the SEC. 10 minutes to find out, I said. Tick-tock. An email from Ethan arrived. Document signed. Attached was the bank agreement and a transfer confirmation. $900,000 plus 7% interest to my account. Claire grinned. They chose survival. I called the Cedar Hollow realtor, canceling the meeting. Instead, I eyed another listing. Oak Ridge Vineyard, 220 acres with better water rights, closer to Dallas. 2 months later, I stood on Oak Ridge's rolling hills, soil rich with promise. The $900,000 funded the down payment, with investors buzzing after my pitch. Tom, now my CFO, left Willow Creek the day the bank took over. "Sophia's spiraling," he said, checking his phone. The bank nixed her new event space, prioritized vines over vanity. I smiled, recalling the bank's first meeting. They'd swapped Sophia's BMW for a work van and canceled her consulting trips. Her MBA was no match for real oversight. Mom's texts about family healing went unanswered. Dad stayed silent, but a package arrived last week. Grandpa's worn journal, filled with notes on grape varieties and harvest cycles. His scrawled note read, "This belongs with someone who gets it. Dad." I held it now, among my new vines, tears, pricking. "In 3 years, we'll have our first vintage," Tom said, nodding to workers planting rootstock. 5 years, we'll outshine Willow Creek. I tucked Grandpa's journal into my coat. Let's make wine. They'd tried to erase me, but they'd given me something better, a legacy of my own. As the sun dipped, painting the valley gold, I knew. My harvest was just beginning.